everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Achua and I hope this video finds you well. If you are new to this place, please consider subscribing, and to all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support and welcome back. In this video, I wanted to do a comparison between Paris Corner Metalico and then Tom Ford's Metalique, but I've changed my mind. I just want to give a public service announcement. If you have Tom Ford's Metalique on your mind but you're not ready to pay full price, although Metalique is one of the few Tom Ford fragrances which is quite on the affordable side, I think I have an announcement for you. Just go get Metalico by Paris Corner. Just go get this one and you are done, because this and Tom Ford's Metalique is an actual one-to-one dupe. There isn't much to contrast between these two fragrances. Paris Corner was able to capture the essence of Metalique in Metalico. There is absolutely no difference between these two except one, and I'll share that with you. But if that even sounds better to you, then I think you should stick to Metalico by Paris Corner if you are looking for a great Metalique alternative. Before that, let me give you my most realistic description of Tom Ford's Metalique. I don't think a lot of people did justice when describing Metalique when it was first launched, The impression I got from a lot of the description made me feel like it was quite heavy on that actual realistic metallic nuance. It actually is, but it is quite far from what it was portrayed to be, in my opinion. When it was fresh on the market, I couldn't sample it. It was like a few years down the line that I got to sample Metalique, And when I was able to sample it, it was so far from how it was described. To me, it's a heavy, minty vanilla scent, but a lot of people focused on that metallic nuance, and that was what I largely got from a lot of description. However, I think Metalique is one of those fragrances you need to experience for yourself to be able to appreciate it. If you are looking for a realistic, creamy, fluffy vanilla scent with a hint of mint, I think Metalique is going to be that for you. It definitely has that metallic nuance a lot of people have spoken about, plus aldehydes, which are normally not a lot of people's cup of tea. However, I think that was what essentially the brand or the house was going for. They didn't want to make anything like a straight generic vanilla scent. They wanted to make a vanilla scent with an edge. It is very edgy, very abstract in a way. It doesn't readily come across as very simple. It is quite intricate and also very mass appealing in a way, It's mass appealing in a way that it has that delicious gourmand vanillas, and also quite intricate in the fact that it has those aldehydes and that metallic, metallic in the actual sense of a metal. It has that metallic nuance. Imagine yourself in a very cold winter day and you're even standing outside eating ice cream, vanilla ice cream specifically, with a hint of mint. That is essentially what Metalique is. It has a cold feel to it. It doesn't come across as airy, it feels like cold air, quite dense, quite intense. The cold texture of Metalique feels like you are in an AC environment. It doesn't feel like you are in the natural air environment. That one is airy, but the AC environment feels so dense, much more colder or cooler. And that is what I associate with Metalique. It doesn't come across as, super light and airy. It doesn't come across as that to me. It feels very dense, fluffy, cold. When it comes to Metalico by Paris Corner, I don't really find much of a difference between this and the original Metalique. They are very, very close. It's one of those cases where I would describe them as a one-to-one dupe. And, although sometimes I describe things as one-to-one dupe, it doesn't mean it is like 100%. I have come to the realization that there is no way a fragrance from a dupe house is going to be a 100%, accurate to something. But for me, when I say something is a one-to-one dupe or an accurate dupe, all I'm trying to say is it doesn't get any better. There's no way it can get any better. It is like as good as you can get it because it's a dupe, and all the effort that needs to be made for the dupe to smell like the original has been made. That is how I find Metalico by Paris Corner. It is very close to the original Metalique, but definitely there's a slight difference. One of the major differences I find between these two is that the original one feels a little more mossy. It doesn't contain a note of moss. It has a woody background, but it doesn't contain moss. However, I perceive something like moss in the original Metalique. It feels like it could contain some moss. It feels a little more green as compared to the Metalico. This one, on the other hand, doesn't come across as mossy to me in any way. It feels much more toned down on that nuance. I can only perceive it in that. It is not a note, no. there's no moss in it at all, but I can still perceive moss in the original Metalique. It is almost non-existent to me. So in my opinion, if you're not a fan of mossy fragrances, which I perceive in the original Metalique, I think your best bet is to go for the Metalico, because you don't get that mossy nuance, mossy green nuance in it. Another difference I find between these two is that the original one feels slightly heavier than the Metalico, which is the dupe. It feels heavier in the sense that the vanilla in this one feels so much thicker. It feels like something you would want to pull out in the thick of the winter, whilst this one feels like something you can wear year round. It feels slightly lighter for you to be able to wear throughout the year, for the summer, for the fall, spring, winter. If only you love the scent profile, it feels like a year-round fragrance to me, whilst the original one feels so much stronger, so much heavier, that I feel it's much more appropriate for fall and winter. It can come across as a bit cloying in the high heat, but on the other hand, this one doesn't feel cloying at all, because it is not as thick when it comes to the vanilla, although it is still very present. So that is one of the major differences. So that mossy aspect you get in this one is not in this, and the intensity that you get in this one is slightly watered down when it comes to Metalico. Even to the trained nose, it's going to be difficult to decipher which one is which, unless someone gives you a clue. They smell so much alike, especially when the intensity of the original Metalique begins to, dwindle and, settling down. It becomes almost the same. It gets to the level of the dupe one, which is Metalico, and I'm using the term watered down loosely because it is not a faint fragrance. Metalico feels like a premium scent. It is going to give you the same experience, the same vibes, the same scent profile. Then again, Metalique by Tom Ford performs slightly better than the dupe, which is going to be Metalico. I think by now a lot of us know the fact that Paris corner fragrances are not super stay. They don't have like the potency. They'll give you the exact feel and experience of the original one they are trying to dupe, but they lack a little when it comes to the performance or the staying power. However, Metalico is still not a bad performer at all, especially when you spray on your clothes. If you are someone who sprays on skin, probably you need to be topping up every now and then, but if you spray on clothes, it's going to last about 4 to 5 hours before you will need to top up. But if you spray on skin, it's going to give you about 2 hours, within which you might need to reapply. So personally, I prefer to spray both on my clothes, on my skin, and I also do not mind reapplying my fragrances at all. But when it comes to the scent profile, Metalique and Metalico are basically going to give you the same thing. I feel like both fragrances are unisex to me, although it has like an intense dose of vanilla. It doesn't really lean that feminine because of that metallic nuance, which gives them that intricate detail, or complexity. So they feel very unisex to me, If you already have Metalique by Tom Ford and you think you want something that you can be using on everyday basis than, reserving it as a special occasion fragrance, I think Metalico by Paris Corner is going to be the option or the way to go. It is a great alternative. It's going to give you your money's worth. I think it's below $35, and for that, for 100 ml, it is beautiful, it is well made, it is affordable. Paris Corner didn't add any twist of their own. They gave us like an exact replica of Tom Ford's Metalique. And that is going to be my public service announcement. Thank you so much for your time here, and I hope you found this useful. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. I would truly appreciate that, and I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye bye.